with the outcome. That was not our intention, obviously, coming here or competing tonight. I think our guys played with good effort, thought they prepared and practiced well, getting ready for the ball game. But, the bottom line, it's just what I told them in the locker room, we didn't play well enough to expect to win against a good team, a ranked team. So it's kind of the bottom line. I think 3 keys to me that made a difference. Penalties, probably had a few more than we're used to, and one costly one in there, certainly in the second half. That was a judgment penalty, and that's disappointing. Turnover takeaway margin, we came up short in that, and that's not a good thing for any football team, certainly not us. And same thing with third down conversions. And I think probably the biggest differentiating thing there, I'd point out, we were clean in the first half, turnover-wise, and then had the one pick. Came at a bad time. There's never a good time, but, we had the ball out at midfield. And then the penalties, the third down situation, I've got it written down here, 5 out of 6 first half, and that was a point of emphasis. And then, 4 out of 5 first half, and then ended up, 6 of 13 overall, which, do the math on that one. It's 1 and 8 second half. And I think where that's pertinent, these guys are a highly ranked team penalty-wise, or highly ranked team turnover and takeaway margin. They've done a really good job on third down conversions and third down defense. So in the first half, I think we did a good job of minimizing those, yardages, if you will, and we're able to stay on the field a little bit better. And then, obviously it didn't happen in the second half, so it became a big deal as well. So it's disappointing. In the final minutes, we just didn't have what it took to get it done, so that's disappointing. Give credit to Missouri. They played a really good football game. They're a good team, and we give them credit. And, 2 things in the locker room basically is just told the team appreciate their effort. And, we just didn't play well enough to win. And then most importantly probably is just thanking our seniors. We had a great group of 20-plus seniors. Done a great job for us during their entire careers. Some have been 5 or 6 years, others 1 or 2, guys that transferred in. So each and every one did a great job, exemplifying what it is to be a good student athlete, good college football player. And so really appreciate their efforts. Obviously, wish them the best, and we'll do all we can to help them as they move forward. But, a lot of good things this season, a lot of, really positives, and this one's going to stink for a little bit. I'll throw it out for questions.
1, 2.
All right, Kirk, looking at the last drive, started with the sack. Obviously,
Yep.
You don't want that to happen. So can you kind of walk through why you guys? It went interception, 3 and out, 4 and out to finish the game. Just how did the offense sort of fall apart a little bit, I guess, so to speak? And then also, it seemed like you were really mad at the officials toward the very, very end.
It looked on the board on the 4th one. It looked like one of their guys had his hand in the neutral zone. But, that wasn't the deciding factor in the game, certainly. So it really was two halves, and I think the third down conversion is probably part of that, but, a turnover. But, we missed an opportunity there on the turnover. We got the ball at midfield and give it back to them in good position. One thing I left out, their field goal kicker has been really consistent, 25 and in. He hasn't been so consistent ball outside the 30, and he nailed 2 of them today, so we give him credit as well. But, it was kind of a tale of 2 halves. We had some rhythm and did some good things in the first half, and second half we had a hard time getting that done, especially in the critical downs.
Coach, you had a 4th and 2 at the plus 40 in the first half.
Yep.
I'm assuming you'd probably say Drew Stevens is one of your better players. How much do you consider, I know it's a long field goal.
Sure.
But with a 3-point difference, you regret not sending him out there or keeping the offense on the field in 4th and 2?
No, I don't play that game. We at that time thought it was the best thing to do. And, the concept, it's anytime we do that, we're playing for field position. We've got a pretty good punter, and we do a pretty good job of covering. So, trying to get that field position, and then, that only works if you get a stop down in that end. Hopefully you get the ball back in good field position. So, thought about it a little bit, but thought that was a better play at that time of the game.
Coach, Brendan Sullivan started the game, I think 6 of 6, had that touchdown, and then obviously things went sideways in the second half. I guess how would you evaluate his performance overall?
He probably said it right there in a nutshell. I thought he played really well in the first half, and we had a rhythm. He had a rhythm. And I don't mean this in a critical way. One of Brendan's strengths is his competitiveness and his, he really cares. And not suggesting other quarterbacks don't, or other ones that we've had don't, but he's really wound tight. And so part of the challenge for him playing, this is not just quarterbacks, but anybody, you have to be able to, bridle that enthusiasm and the energy sometimes and make it work for you, not against you. And I think when he gets running hot a little bit sometimes, kind of gets out of whack there. But saw some improvement, certainly some progress, and he gave us, went out there and just played as hard as he possibly could. So he'll keep improving. I'm optimistic about that, and he's a tremendous young person.
With the late hit penalty there on Schulte, kind of what were your thoughts on that one?
On the sideline you're talking about? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to get called. I wasn't there, I wasn't standing there, but it's just, you have to use good judgment. You just got to use good judgment and don't want to give the officials a chance to make a call like that. And anytime you're on the boundary, you got to be really careful, I think. So, it just is what it is, and that's uncharacteristic, certainly, of Quinn. He's been an outstanding player for us.
Thoughts on Kamari and Jazz and the way they stepped in the run game?
Yeah, I apologize, too. I forgot TJ yesterday. But, yeah, the three of those guys have all been really good. Obviously, TJ's been working at receiver, but he's a guy we think can do both. So I thought all three of them really did a nice job. It doesn't seem like it's too big for them at all, and I think they were eager to get a chance to go out there and play. And they're different. All three of them are different type players, but they're all really good football players, and they're really outstanding young guys. I mean, they're fun to be around and fun to see at practice and all that type of thing. So, just happy with the way they stepped in there. And Tyler Ellsbury wasn't perfect, but he stepped in with Logan being out and did a lot of good things too. So that's part of football, and really proud of those guys especially.
Tough. It seemed like a tough day for the secondary from our perspective, I guess. What kind of reminiscent of the Michigan State game, maybe a little bit for a while.
Not the same, but similar. Yeah.
What would you say kind of the issue was today? You even had, Xavier got benched at one point.
Yeah, I'm not sure the irony of it is, like, our first possession, the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball, and it took us a while to get there. But we were wired in, and then credit to them, they did a great job with their schemes and made it tough on us. And their quarterback, I mentioned the field goal kicker, he hasn't been consistent from distance. Their quarterbacks played really well, for 2 years now, and it's no accident they've won whatever they've won now, 21 games, I think, in 2 years. So a lot of that starts with that quarterback play. He played really well, and then the receivers did a good job too. They maybe a drop or two in there, but they were tough to cover.
Last question.
Uncharacteristic to be talking about, 10-point lead blown here, 10-point lead blown. I think it's 10 against UCLA and 13 against Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about this year where that seemed to be a shortcoming for you guys?
Yeah, I think each of them are a different discussion probably. Maybe the most similar would be the last two. Just, some of the things we talked about offensively, first half versus second half, I think popped up in both those, at least from my vantage point. But sometimes that's going to happen. Excuse me. And if you get in a game like that, then you're going to have to come up with some stops too if the offense isn't doing it. And conversely, if we're struggling defensively, it sure helps if you move the ball and get some points. And we didn't do that well, either of those well enough today. So, every day is a different discussion. But, that's certainly if we want to be a 10-win team or 11-win team like our opponent, you got to do a better job in those. And certainly when you got a lead, and I think there was a stat earlier I read in the year that was kind of unbelievable. When we had even a 7-point lead, I think it was, our record's pretty damn good. But, we kind of squelch that one, unfortunately. So we'll go back to work. But, no, just again, really proud of our guys. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Do a couple more Iowa players outside.